Hey, what's up guys? So today we're talking about something that can overturn the entire global financial system as we know it. And this opportunity is huge. There's nothing really like it. I mean, it's as big as the internet was. It's as big as the car was back in the day when people were just using a horse and buggy. This thing is huge.
Hustle's on my chest, no hustle, no progress. Pieces to the puzzle when everything was a mess. I'm just trying to stay blessed, be better than all the rest. I said I feel like I'm the greatest. I said I feel like I'm the greatest.
Now, if you're looking at the title of this video, I can't really go on with too much suspense because it's obvious. Today, we're talking about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's been going crazy in its valuation. Its price is going up like $1,000 a week almost. I mean, I was about to make this video when it was at like $3,000, then jumped up to $4,000, $5,000, now it's over $6,000 just for one Bitcoin. So let's break it down one by one. Now, for me, and this is probably a dumbed down explanation, so if you're a miner or engineer and you think about Bitcoin differently, that's probably the case. But for me and the average person out there, Bitcoin is like internet money. It's digital money that is decentralized. And by that, it means no government, no bank, no corporation like owns it. It's just out there for the people to use wherever you're from, whatever country you're from. And lastly, it is on the blockchain, which means that it's like a digital ledger that keeps track of every single transaction. Every single time someone buys something or sells Bitcoin, the ledger updates for everyone to see. So that might be a little confusing, but just think about how confusing it was the first time email came out, or how confusing it was to get on the internet back in the day. Like no one knew what they're doing, and now it's the staple of our society. So I see Bitcoin has a similar path, and right now it's super confusing, but eventually you're just going to figure it out. And also, if you never figure it out, like we don't really know how the internet works besides the super nerdy smart people who do. Like I just get on there and I don't understand the whole cloud and the wiring and all that stuff, but I use it every day. So I don't know if you even need to fully understand Bitcoin to see its potential, see its value. Before I get into my prediction on what I think the future value of Bitcoin could be and the reasoning I have behind it, let me just be 100% clear. This video is my opinion and it's just 100% information purposes only. This is not investment advice. If you're looking for investment advice, you should seek a duly licensed professional, and that's not me. This video is just me talking to myself essentially. Alright, now back to our scheduled programming. So drum roll please. Here's why I think Bitcoin, which is now worth just over $6,000, can be worth $100,000 for one coin. That'd be insane, right? I mean, that's talking like 94,000 increase just for one coin, and the potential is even higher. So what makes Bitcoin so special, and why do I think it has this kind of potential? Here's exactly why. The first huge advantage Bitcoin has going for it is that it's the top brand of all cryptocurrencies. So just by being like the bellwether and the one that everyone's heard of and the biggest one out there, that's going to have more staying power and give it a better chance of making it into mainstream society and being an accepted currency just as cash is, as credit cards are, and that's just going to make it go further rather than some questionable name that no one else has heard of or it hasn't been in society for as long. And Bitcoin doesn't face those struggles because it's the top one, the biggest one, and the first one. So just see like Facebook, for example, of how this helps them be the biggest because they have the early mover advantage. And that's why I think Bitcoin also has that huge potential because they are the first cryptocurrency. The second key advantage of Bitcoin is that it costs money to mine Bitcoins. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Federal Reserve can just print as much money as they want. And I'm talking cash when I say money. They can just print as much as they want and cause inflation and do whatever they want, and just there's no limit on supply. Where with Bitcoin, it actually costs money, costs electricity, costs human resources, costs computer programming to mine the Bitcoins and solve the computer problems. And that makes it actually worth something, right? Because you have to spend hours and spend value to make something that inherently gives it value. Or if you can just print something at the cost of almost nothing, there's not as much value there. And that's why I think Bitcoin has another advantage on the US dollar and all the other countries' currencies. If Bitcoin's going to truly be worth $100,000 or maybe $200,000 or $1 million, it's going to have to do some major damage in changing society. I think it has that kind of potential. I mean, if you invested early in the internet and got some of those stocks like Apple or Amazon, you're super rich right now, if not, a guaranteed millionaire. Same thing with Bitcoin. If we invest our money now, it has huge potential, and this is why. In the banking system today, there's a middleman. So if I want to transfer money to Joe right now, I have to go through our banks. It takes 2 to 3 days to get to him. There's some fees attached to it usually, and that's just not the case with Bitcoin. I can send him my money right away. He can take it like, almost seconds after, and we can be on our way. And that's the power of Bitcoin. It gets rid of the middleman, and because of that, it can get rid of the financial systems as we know it and the bank. And if it does that, then its valuation is going to soar. Now this next benefit of Bitcoin is maybe my favorite one, and that's the fact that anyone can buy it at any time. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to be from a wealthy family, you don't need to have private stock in the company to profit from it. It's just open to the public. So people in Venezuela, people in Russia, wherever, currency, inflation and stuff like that's happening, they can protect their money and put it in Bitcoin, and they can be peasants, they can be middle class, and they can still buy the same thing that rich people can. Where in America and other, first world countries, you have to be a accredited investor to invest in certain venture capital. You have to have a certain amount of money to buy real estate and get a loan, and everything's favored to the rich. With Bitcoin, it's decentralized and anyone can buy as much as they want, as long as they have the money to buy it. So there's no other rules behind it, and that's what's super incredible about Bitcoin. I just use Bitcoin as an asset to hold on to it. I'm not daily, trading it or buying lunch with it, but some people are. And places like India, they've legalized it. Australia just got rid of the Bitcoin tax, and even in Japan, they have Bitcoin ATMs where people can use that money, and the more usage that happens, that's going to raise the price. Now, just two final points on the insane potential of Bitcoin. So number one is the talent is flocking to Bitcoin. Just back in the day, how the talent all flocked to Silicon Valley to come up with the new apps and social media platforms and all of that. Now all those geniuses are starting to work on the blockchain, and that's where I can see a lot of value, a lot of money going into it, and a lot of money coming out of it to rise that price of Bitcoin. Now the last and final point, maybe the most important. Bitcoin has a limited supply, and by that, there's only 21 million that are ever going to be out there. Now, the Federal Reserve can print as much money as they want to, and there's no limit on that. But with Bitcoin, there's only going to be 21 million. So with the limited supply, what do you get? Insane demand, high prices, just more people wanting it. And that, of course, is going to rise the price like maybe nothing else out of everything I just listed. So only the future will tell if my $100,000 for one Bitcoin prediction is right or if it's crazy. We'll see. I have a good feeling about it, but nothing in this world is for sure. So yeah, we're just going to have to see. So a few final points before I close out this video, and that is that I wanted this video to be a pretty general summary, because the more technical you get about a technical subject, we can just get lost in the details, and that's not the point. The point is to kind of understand the technology, all the potential, see if it's a good investment for you. For me, I do see it as a good investment, and that's why I have a good chunk of my net worth in there. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's up to you. Do your research. Let this video inspire you to think it is something you do want to invest in. If not, that's totally cool and up to you. What you do with your money is, your decision. And then secondly, I just want to say, don't ever invest money you don't have, and don't ever invest money that you just can't afford to lose. Those are two bad ideas that will leave you crippled if something goes wrong, or if Bitcoin goes down to zero, which it could, no one knows. So just keep that in mind, be smart about it. And lastly, please give this video a like. Please subscribe if you're new, and if you want to share it, that'd be great. That way more people can figure out this Bitcoin promise and all the potential there. And we can just push this into mainstream society all by ourselves with a few shares, a few likes, and just spreading the word with some word of mouth marketing. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Hustle's on my chest, no hustle, no progress. Pieces to the puzzle when everything was a mess. I'm just trying to stay blessed, be better than all the rest.